Welcome to the Hyborian Keep. I'm Old Man Hyborian. Here, we review tales of Robert E. Howard's greatest character, Conan the Barbarian. Today, we're going to be reviewing Heroic Signatures in Titan Comics' Savage Sword of Conan issue number 12. This won't be some fluffy review. It'll be an old man's honest opinion. And just as a heads up, there will be spoilers. So I don't want you to go crying to your mummy if I say something that spoils it for you. If you don't want the spoilers, go to the summary at the end. And if you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. And with that, let's get after it. Savage Sword of Conan, issue number 12. Cover by Adrian Smith. Well, I must say I'm not too struck on the cover. I don't know who that's supposed to be. Some block of a man with a pinhead. It's not really how I visualize Conan. Robert E. Howard always said that he was stealthy like a panther. Well, the person on this cover looks more like a hippopotamus, and I'm not quite sure how stealthy a hippopotamus would ever be. Not digging that cover at all. Inside cover we have the new Solomon Kane book coming out. I don't know too much about Solomon Kane. I never really got into that character. Not sure if Titan Books are going to do a better job on Solomon Kane than they did in the last couple of Conan books. But the last couple of Conan books were very disappointing. I do have reviews on those if you'd like to check those out. So we have a pin-up by Ivan Gill. Like the pin-up. Very good job. For some reason it just kind of screams Ernie Chan to me. Not that Conan looks like Ernie's Conan, but just the way he did the hatching and the pencils. It just kind of gave me that Ernie Chan vibe. So we have the main Conan story by Chris Ryall and Gabriel Rodriguez. Like, I'm just not feeling the vibe from this artwork at all. The whole thing, I'm just going to leaf through it here because I just was not impressed with it at all. It's very flat. There's not much of different perspective from it. Even the story was a little bit whacked. You know, Conan goes on this mission to find this old lady's daughters because she helped him, because Conan showed up at his door with some kind of black gook on him. And Conan meets up with this ragtag of characters. You know, he doesn't act like Conan, he doesn't sound like Conan, like he's arrogant, he's ungrateful. So the whole feel is off. So this is kind of the prelude where it shows how Conan got infected with this black gunk that ends up with this old lady. He goes on the quest to find her two daughters. So he just takes off and he meets up again with this ragtag of people. They're in search of this sorceress that has these two daughters. They're there trying to find, apparently she has a big hoard of gold. So again, the artwork is just, I don't know, just not feeling it. And then by this point I wasn't really engaged that much, and they have a section here that's, you know, it's upside down. I don't know if they tried to be clever with that or not, but like I just was not feeling it at all. So anyway, they go down into this big cavern. Conan, you know, jumps off into the dark, not knowing where the bottom was, which, you know, Conan may have been pretty spontaneous in his younger years, but, you know, that seemed a little bit out of character. So anyway, thumps down, hurts his shoulder, kind of complains a bit about it. Like, even like the things he says, like, although my shoulder screams, yet protests I prefer risk over all caution. Like, give me a break, that's lame. So the storytelling is about in line with the artwork. Subpar. You know, they fight some crazy characters. The story just seems to drone on until the sorceress shows up. Has the two daughters that Conan's trying to track down. She looks like she has a stingray on her face. So I don't know if they tried to, you know, up the artwork by flashing a little bit of nipple, but at this point it's going to take a hell of a lot more than a little bit of nipple to pull this story off. So there's this golden sword. He ends up chopping off one of the buddies' arms with this lava flow that's going to take over the world. So Conan, he breaks free and he's starting to fight the two sisters. They're not listening to him at all. That, you know, he's there for a reason. So again, just kind of dragging on until the sisters see the amulet that Conan had brought from the old lady. But by then it's kind of too late because all this lava's starting to bubble up. So Conan, he tries to climb up out of the way and get to the top of this pillar. And everybody else is kind of left behind. He thinks that they're all dead. So one of these cast of characters there kind of lives in the shadows. You see his lips and his eyeballs once in a while. He helps Conan. He floats him up to the top. And apparently he was the lover of this sorceress who she killed. So anyway, she gets the stingray slapped off her face. She's far from a beauty. Conan cuts her in half, drives the golden sword down into the pillar. And luckily there was a piece of vine wrapped around his sword. Like, this is so lame. He ties it to the sword and he throws it up to the top of the hole of the cavern, and lo and behold, all his friends are up there because the guy that lived in the shadows there with the shadow face, he hovered them all up to the top. So anyway, the two sisters, they apparently still are a little bit evildoers, but they're going to go off and see their mother. And Conan, he basically says that he's going to go wherever his sword leads. So overall, like, subpar art, silly story. Just couldn't get into it. It was long. It drug on forever. It just felt weak to me. Then we have a short story of Brad Mark Morn by Fabian Naziza, which I don't know the character Brad Mark Morn at all. Story was decent. I don't know really how true the character it was, but if you're a Brad Mark Morn fan, you may enjoy it. Pretty good illustration by Tom Ranley. We have a pin-up of Borak, which wasn't too bad. And then it's an Borak story. The story seemed fine, but I did not like the artwork. It just looked like it was somebody's sketchbook. So I couldn't really get into it. Again, I don't know Borak as a character, but props to Heroic Signatures and Titan Comics to include some of other, you know, Robert E. Howard's other characters in the Savage Sword. I'm all for that. But again, the artwork was just definitely not my style, just way too sketchy looking, black. Maybe it was just because of the print, it just didn't come out well, but you know, I was not too struck with it at all. Then the back cover, we have a bunch of Conan merchandise. And the next issue looks like it may be a pretty good one. Looks like Roy Thomas and Roberto De La Torre is going to be in it. So looking forward to that. That should be really good. So overall, I'd have to say this is a subpar Savage Sword of Conan. The only bright spot was the pin-up at the start by Ivan Gill. But besides that, you know, the storytelling was weak and the artwork I found was weak. Well, there you have it. The conclusion of year 2 with Savage Sword of Conan issue number 12 ends on a little bit of a disappointment. The cover by Adrian Smith, didn't care for it. It's not that the art was bad, there was some fine detail in it, but that great big bulk of a man with a pinhead, that wasn't Robert E. Howard's Conan. Probably the best part of the whole magazine was the pin-up by Ivan Gill. That was excellent. The main story, the art by Gabriel Rodriguez, and the story by Chris Ryall, didn't care for that at all. The story, kind of lingered on forever, had a lot of silly things in it, didn't really capture Conan's mannerisms, had Conan doing stupid stuff, and the art was just flat. There was no movement, there was no flow from panel to panel, everything just looked stiff. So I didn't care for the art at all. Now the Bran Morn short story, that was excellent. I liked that. And the Borak story was pretty good as well. But the art by Mirko, did not like that. It looked like a sketchbook. So I didn't care for the art at all. Even though I'm complaining, it's still a Savage Sword of Conan. So it's better to have something to complain about than nothing at all. I would still recommend Savage Sword of Conan. Buy it, read it, and enjoy it. And with that, I bid you farewell.